Some of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's soldiers are now prisoners of war, and the Tigrayans have been parading them before the cameras. The presidents of Kenya and South Africa say all parties must commit to ending the violence. As the war draws closer to the Ethiopian capital, plans to defend Addis Ababa are intensifying. These women have joined a neighbourhood protection force to guard against advancing rebel forces. They've set up roadblocks, are searching vehicles for weapons and are checking people's documents. Abiy has informed the nation that he's going to the front line where he'll personally lead the army, and he's asked the Ethiopians to join him in what he calls the battle to save the nation.
It has been 100 days since the Taliban toppled Afghanistan's Western-backed government and swept to power. And since then, Taliban officials have sought to publicly assure women and the international community that women's rights will be protected, despite widespread skepticism. But on Tuesday, November 23rd, the administration released a set of restrictions on Afghan media, with some edicts targeted specifically at women. The Ministry of Vice and Virtue announced 9 rules. Rules largely centred on banning any media that contravenes Islamic or Afghan values, including banning television dramas that included female actors, and ordering women news presenters to wear Islamic hijab, a term women's rights activists say is vague and could be interpreted conservatively.
Germany has rejected calls from Minsk for the European Union to take in migrants stranded at the Belarus-Poland border. EU member states have also made it clear they will not be blackmailed by Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko. He is demanding that they take in thousands of migrants. They are facing harsh winter conditions out in the forests along the border. More than 10 people have died in recent weeks trying to cross into the EU.
He died in the forest near the Polish-Belarusian border, likely from the cold. Mustafa Mohammed Murshed al-Raimi, a 37-year-old from Yemen, had been trying to cross the border to reach the European Union. He was laid to rest by the small Muslim community in the Polish town of Bohoniki, next to the graves of 2 other migrants who were buried last week.
I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first-degree intentional homicide to be issued or added, to this case.
Ahead of one of the busiest travel holidays of the year, Thanksgiving, U.S. President Joe Biden announced the release of 50 million barrels of crude oil from America's emergency stockpile, known as the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
The big part of the reason Americans are facing high gas prices is because oil-producing countries and large companies have not ramped up the supply of oil quickly enough to meet the demand.
The reserve holds a 1-month supply at current U.S. consumption levels. It's intended for dealing with supply disruptions caused by things like natural disasters, not for managing prices. But the White House has been under pressure to tap into reserves as gas prices continue to rise in the U.S., leading to falling approval numbers in recent months for the president.
A deadly explosion at a munition and missile factory in Serbia on Tuesday has killed at least 2 people and injured around 16 others. Several blasts rocked the southern area of Belgrade. Drones were being used by rescuers to look for further potential victims.
The strong sound of the detonation disturbed the residents of Belgrade. A high cloud of smoke was seen from almost every part of the city. The commander of the capital's fire brigade said that there were about 40 workers in the factory at the time of the explosion. The same number of firefighters were at the spot to contain the fire and prevent another explosion.
All of the reports, what you're saying and what I'm going to say, nothing is confirmed, but what we're hearing is this anti-aircraft fire, which was launched towards those incoming, whether it was rockets or airplanes, landed also near a gas station in Syria, and that caused the death of these 2 civilians. Again, these are reports coming out of Syria. No confirmation of that yet. There are also reports that another aircraft, anti-aircraft fire from Syria actually crossed into Israel and exploded over Israeli territory near the city of Haifa in northern Israel. So casualties may not come only from the attacks themselves, but from the anti-aircraft fire that is launched towards those missiles.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the Falcon 9 and DART on NASA's first planetary defense test to intentionally crash into an asteroid.
So we're getting a nice view of the onboard cameras from the Falcon 9. So you can see it looking towards the first, the aft end of the first stage, and you can see those engines coming to life.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
And Falcon 9 will be reaching max Q in just seconds, the moment of peak mechanical stress on the rocket.
And here in the Mission Data Center, we can feel the rumble from the Falcon 9, and it's always amazing to hear and feel.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Vehicle supersonic.
Just heard that call out for supersonic. Going faster than the speed of sound.